Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I don't even know if welcome back. You've been listening for a while. This is part 3 of our centennial episode. Part 3 of episode 100 featuring our former co-host, Miss Eryn Cooper.
Woohoo! The other Eryn.
The other Eryn returns.
Yes, I'm so excited to be here with one of my best friends.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Congrats on the big 100.
I haven't thought about it taking as long as it did to get to 100, but look at us go.
Hey, it's many more than most podcasters.
No
I'd
kidding.
say.
I was thinking about that the other day because a lot of podcasts started during 2020 and everyone was just like, oh, we should start a podcast. And then 6 episodes later, they're like, yeah, this is too much work.
Well, it's interesting. Since I work in radio, I'll be connected with, several different people that work in entertainment, whether it is radio, whether it is artists, kind of along those same lines. And I'll look at their social media and either in their link tree or in their actual bio, it will be listen to my podcast, and I'll click it and I'm like, oh, okay. And then it's like, yeah, they haven't uploaded an episode in like 2 years. And I'm like, do you still have this podcast?
Is this still a thing? Was it intended to be a limited run?
Was it a mini series? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you. Nashville Tour Stop means so much to me, and I will always do Nashville Tour Stop things.
Well, for those of you who are new to the podcast listening, Eryn Cooper was our co-host for probably 20 or 30 episodes, I'd say. You think that's about right? Probably somewhere
like
in that window.
Mm-hmm.
I could have gone back and counted, but that would have been too much effort.
No.
Math. But you helped get the podcast rejuvenated after I took a break when me and Mike Dunbar, who was part 2 of the 100th episode, after he and I took a break from doing it, me and you relaunched. And
after you took a break from doing what we literally just described people doing, where you stopped doing a podcast.
I gave up for a while. I got too busy. And then you and I got into doing it again, the dynamic duo of Eryn and Eryn.
Yes, it's my favorite dynamic duo to ever exist.
Yes, me too.
Sorry, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yes, there's Ryan Gosling. There's so many Ryans.
They're all
Ryan
hot.
Seacrest, my idol. Yeah, no.
Will you give the new listeners your background and how you got involved with Tour Stop and what brought you to Nashville?
I would love nothing more. So Tour Stop was really my first all-encompassing introduction to the local music scene in Nashville. And it started before I even officially lived here, when I met you at a Tour Stop show, before I even knew what Nashville Tour Stop was or what a writer's round was.
Ooh, tell people how we met.
Yes. So again, speaking back to the podcast pandemic days, if we all remember that app Clubhouse that I was fervishly on, a couple of fellow entertainment people that were in like a Nashville chat group had arranged to all meet up at your Nashville Tour Stop show. I want to say it was March or April of 2021.
Okay.
And at that point, I was still a news personality in Chattanooga. I've been a broadcaster for about 8 years. And I showed up to meet some people, not you. I wasn't supposed to meet you. And ended up meeting you. Didn't realize it was your thing. But you came up to me, and what did you say, Eryn?
I said that I recognized you from Chattanooga News.
Which makes no sense because we're 2 hours outside of my viewing area. And that was also just hilarious because I never
You're like, why would some dude in Nashville be watching the Chattanooga local news?
And why were you?
I wasn't. Your channel was on at my friend Paul Ivy's house.
Oh my gosh, Paul,
and I remember
love him.
I don't know why he had it on, but yeah, he was watching Chattanooga local news, and I remember seeing you on the air.
That's everything.
And then when I saw you at Tour Stop, I was like, is that the girl from Paul's TV?
Oh, Paul Ivy, if you're listening, I miss you. Yeah, so that was wild, and then we talked about, my obsession with Hanson, which you
Mm-hmm.
thought was very funny, and at this point, I hadn't announced it yet, but I had decided that I was gonna leave news and
Mm-hmm.
was actually seriously considering moving to Nashville to do what I so incredibly somehow ended up actually pulling off. So more on that later. But yeah, moved to Nashville, what, 3 months later?
Mm-hmm.
We stayed in touch, we became friends, and then when I moved here, we became closer, and you gave me a chance and hired me to help tell stories of the artists that do the tour stop shows, and it's been one of the greatest gifts and opportunities I've ever had, and it's just I'm so proud of it.
For those of you listening, if you've ever seen our content on social media called Tour Stop Trendsetters, that was Aaron's baby. That was your
Yes.
baby.
Oh,
I don't even remember who was the first episode, but
it was Brandon
was it
Ellis.
Brandon? Because you
Yes.
shot those at Belcourt.
Yes, it was the first Belcourt show I think I ever went to where we got the gif of
Mm-hmm.
me dancing with the camera.
Yep, I remember that.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that was right after that was within 3 weeks of me moving here, I think
You
in
you
July
jumped right
2021.
into the deep end.
Oh my gosh, I was telling somebody the other night, moving here and working with Tour Stop, I was overflowing with inspiration
Mm-hmm.
for probably a year straight where I had so much inspiration, I didn't know what to do with it. I was journaling every day, I was looking for every story to tell, and you and Tour Stop played probably the biggest role and still do in all of that.
Aw. Look at you gassing me up.
It's the truth.
That's one of the great things about our friendship dynamic because we love gassing the other up.
Yes, we are professional hype people.
We
We
are professional
are.
hype people.
Yeah, I mean, that's the most delightful thing about you is seeing you cheer on your friends at your shows where you've heard the songs hundreds of times, but they're bangers and you love them and you love your
Mm-hmm.
friends. And your friends will consistently tell me, and I agree, that you will do anything for your friends. And that's also what I admire about you.
It's true. I use a saying is when people are like leaving a show, I'm like, oh, thanks for hanging out. Like if I can ever do anything for you, just let me know. Like if it's booking shows or moving your couch, I'm not strong, but I am available.
You are strong and mighty, my
I'm
dude.
I'm not that strong.
Stronger than me. I got stick arms.
I can bench press like the bar.
I don't how much does the bar weigh?
I'm kidding. I can bench press more than the bar.
Okay,
The bar
because
is
I was
45
like,
pounds.
okay, well, I certainly can't do that. So,
Yeah, I started going to the gym to get, swole.
yeah.
Just kidding. I went to the gym so I could fit back into my skinny jeans.
Hey, again, doing more than most people.
So look at you. I'm so happy you're back.
I know.
So you said you moved here after you left television.
Mhm.
What was your first experience with work after Tour Stop? What did you get into after you worked for us for a little while?
So, yeah, I moved to Nashville to become an entertainment, but primarily music storyteller. I've always loved people and making people feel seen and heard and valued, and everybody has a story. And I love being a storyteller for storytellers, and
Mm-hmm.
musicians are the best ones. So, I came here with the pursuit of that and was going to take any opportunity to do that. And around the same time, so a few months after I'd been working with you, a lovely radio station called Hot 1067 found me through a One Direction DJ night
Nice.
reel I had made because that is me and my true farm. And they were hiring and they were like, "Hey, we see you work in TV. Do you want to come work at the radio?" And I immediately was like, "Heck yeah." And
That's cool.
so it was a dream come true because, pop music and that pop culture, that whole scene is everything. And to be able to do that in Music City,
Mm-hmm.
insane. So
It's not like you were offered a job to be a radio DJ in like Nowhereville, Oklahoma.
which even if I had, I mean, that still would have been incredible because
Mhm.
I just want to work in music. I always have, but to have it work out in the city I live in, I mean, but that was with you and just going out on my own every day. As I tell people, like, if you're passionate about something and you want to get paid to do it, you go out and any spare moment you have, you go out and you make content.
Do it.
You do it and you do it for free on your own time for fun, and then maybe somebody will pick it up. So anyway, I started working weekends at Hot
I'm
106.7.
scratching my nose on the
Aaron's
mic.
scratching his nose. Is that getting picked up? It is getting picked up.
Yep, we're getting all of it.
Oh my gosh. Uh, so I started working weekends at Hot 106.7 and sort of doing some of their events and artist interviews, which again, my favorite part. And then summer of 2022, June of 2022, I was moved to weeknights, and I was the weeknight jock and had my own
Yay.
show on air with Eryn, which has been my middle school Twitter handle since like 2011 or whatever. And
You were
then
in
it
middle
became-
school in 2011?
Yeah, eighth
Ugh.
grade. Yeah, 2010 to 2011.
Dating myself a little bit here. That was my senior year of high school.
Stop. Yeah, freshman year was 2011 to 2012 for me.
Gotcha.
That's crazy. So yeah, and then more recently, a year later, my station flipped to a country station, but only 80s, 90s, and like the first couple years of the early 2000s. And that is all we play. We're kind of frozen in time with what a lot of people refer to as the best country. You know, if there's one thing we can all agree on, especially in Nashville, I think it's that everybody loves 80s and 90s country.
Everyone. There's not a person who likes contemporary country music who's like, oh no, 90s country sucked.
Right.
Everyone loves 90s country.
Exactly. So that was a huge learning experience and shift. You know, everything kind of got turned upside down for a while because I didn't know it was happening. But
And that's also not your genre of expertise.
right. And I was like, all right, you know, my journalistic background was going to have to kick in. I was going to have to be like, all right, well, I can learn about things and I can learn about things very quickly and efficiently. So it's time to use those skills. So I'm always grateful to my news background for, all right, whip open the internet and the books and let's go. So with that, I got a promotion too. So I became the assistant brand manager for Y'all 106.7. That's right. Oh yeah, the station is Y'all 106.7. Yeehaw. And so that's been really cool to get to build the brand from the ground up. We had Randy Travis launch the
That's
radio
cool.
station. He and his lovely wife Mary are awesome. I've been lucky to spend a lot of time with them. And he flies Southwest. They were at my gate not too long ago, just hanging out at the airport. We love a humble king. And yeah, so we've been doing that.
So, in your years of radio and television, I know personally that you've gotten to meet some pretty incredible people, but without name dropping everyone, can you name drop a few?
All right, I'll do my favorites. First, the most iconic in terms of length and, you know, span of career, AJ McLean of the
Mhm.
Backstreet Boys. I got to interview him for Hot 106.7 about a year ago, and he is just the coolest dude, so down to earth. He was down to do, he loves doing TikToks, and I did a TikTok with him after our interview, and he nailed it. And then he was so excited, he then like went through and started showing me all the TikToks he's made, and I
That's
was
funny.
like, oh,
You're literally sitting there just like, is AJ McLean just showing me his TikTok now?
But the what I will never forget, and this is one of those things that I will make my personality for the rest of my life, is he took a picture with me. I took whatever, and before I even like started doing anything after he left, he posted on his Instagram story that he met me and like tagged me. I literally screenshotted that and made it my phone background.
You're like, one of the Backstreet Boys is excited about meeting me.
I'm like, I am no one. You're AJ McLean of the Backstreet Boys. And then number two, just because it is, you know, the peak of my adoration for music growing up as a teenager, interviewing Louis Tomlinson, formerly of One Direction, when he was releasing his
That's a
sophomore
pretty big
album.
one too.
And
He gave you the best compliment ever.
this is going on my resume. And Aaron, take notes. If you want to get me a Christmas present, you can put this on a plaque. Louis Tomlinson looked at me and told me I was the best interviewer he's had.
Which is humongous coming from someone who's probably done 1,000 radio interviews.
All over the world. I was like, there's no way.
Yeah.
I have no words. I'm just, yeah, almost pooped my pants.
Screaming, crying, throwing up.
All at the same time. So yeah, those are probably my favorite interactions and storytelling experiences I've had with artists in top 40 just because of how much they've meant to me personally. So.
That's so cool. I feel lucky that I got to meet you because you're pretty
Oh.
famous now.
Okay, first of all, not at all. Second of all, I feel lucky that you, again, Tour Stop is such a catalyst for all of this.
I know I said this in a different episode, but I tell people that I am a D- celebrity. You know, like 60.1%. It's like I haven't failed.
I was
but
like, you're not failing.
I haven't failed, but I've just barely not failed. But it's like Pirates of the Caribbean when the guy's like, "You are the worst pirate I've ever heard of." He's like, "Oh, but you have heard of me."
Yes, exactly. Yes, you could probably walk into numerous establishments in Nashville, and you'll see people.
Really,
you
at least
know,
one
like-
person who might know me.
Yes, and that's awesome.
It is nifty.
Also, I all I can think about right now is for anyone that doesn't know us or anyone that is listening to this for like relatively the first time, there is so much ass kissing of each other that's going on in this right now, but it's like real. Like it's not like I adore you so much and I will gas you up until the end of time. But I feel like there's so many podcasts where people just get on here and like make each other feel better about one another, but like this is
the best
real.
kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Just ass kissing might just be it. Brown
It might be.
nosing.
I guess, but it's just it's true. I'm just
Because we're buddies. We're friends.
We're buds.
So what's been going on in your life outside of work? What's going on in the world of Eryn Cooper?
Oh gosh,
The woman, not the radio personality.
Well, Eryn, we work in the music industry in Nashville. We don't do anything outside of work.
I hate admitting it, but yeah, you're right. Oh my god, I had that exact thing happen to me the other day because I was having like a really bad day with stress and everything,
Aw.
and my friend Caroline DeLone sent me a text, and she's like, "You should just do something that is just for you, like something that is just for fun. It is not for anyone else, and it's not for tour stop. It's not for work." And I went to take a shower, and I was just like, What
would
do
that
I do
be?
for
What
fun?
would that be?
What do I do for fun that's not about like making the next step in the game?
Pew, pew, pew.
And I was just like, I don't know what I do. Like what I do to unwind at the end of the day or to like warm up into the day is watch TV, but that's not like doing something for me. So I went and got a tattoo.
Yes, and it's gorgeous. It is,
I got the like viney leaves here, and people keep asking what kind of leaves they are. And honestly, I don't really know. I just asked for vines
Oh my
and
gosh,
leaves.
I didn't realize how expansive. And
Oh yeah, it goes all the way from the top of my
that
arm all
is-
the way
How
around.
long did that take?
Ends on it was about 3 hours.
Oh my god.
None of it's great content for an audio only podcast, but
But see,
I walked into the tattoo parlor and I like put my fist down on the counter. It's like, I would like a tattoo, please. And the dude goes, "Okay, cool. What do you want?" And I was like, I should have thought about that before I came to the tattoo parlor. And he goes, "Oh, okay." And then there was just that awkward silence about like, what do we do now? And I had just made the show posters for Tour Stop at the Nelson's Greenbrier Distillery venue, and a bunch of their branding is like green, leafy, kind of vine looking stuff. So I pulled out my phone. I was like, "Can you give me these vines?" So I literally have the Nelson's Greenbrier Distillery vines on my arm. So if anyone's wondering why I have this tattoo, it's because it was the most recent thing on my mind.
two things. First being, so you didn't disassociate from work and do it just for
Nope.
yourself because you literally
I actually
work with Nelson's
permanently
Green-
associated something with work.
And that is Aaron Schild committing to the bit. He will work hard for you and your brand.
Yeah, so now whenever
Oh my
the contract renewal season starts, they're going to be like, "So what have you done in the last 2 years that would be good for us to like tell the brand people about renewing a contract with you?" I was like, "Well, I got your branding tattooed on my body forever." Period. T.
I cannot wait for that conversation to happen. Please let me know how that goes. Oh my gosh.
Because when they had their grand opening for the distillery, like they did a huge remodel, they were giving away free tattoos. Like it was awesome. They had a sheet just like the Friday the 13th sheets, except they were all like whiskey and Nashville related. And they had the Greenbrier leaves. And I signed my friend Mackenzie up, who works there, and she was working at the event elsewhere. She's like, "Hey, will you go sign my name up for the free tattoos?" So yeah, I said, "Yeah, sure." So I went and signed her up, number 41, and I was number 42, and I was in line behind her, and they called her up and said, "All right, that's the last one." I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Oh my god.
It's like, and I looked her like dead in the eyes and was like, "I signed you up. You should give me this."
Oh my
And
gosh.
she gave me the finger, and she's just like, "Heh."
So what would you have gotten?
I would have still gotten these, but it wouldn't have been this big.
Oh, I see.
Like
okay.
they had the one that was like 2 or 3 inches long that I was just gonna get on my like the underside of my forearm.
Right.
And then when I went to get the full greenery tattoo, I just asked the dude to do it all the way to wrap around my arm, because I've got all these other little tattoos that are
Yeah.
just kind of like stamps, but I wanted to kind of start to tie it all together. And the artist named Matt Monroe at Dead Ahead Tattoo Company, shout out,
Shout out.
he freehanded this, which I'm blown away by.
Holy
Yeah, he
cow.
freehanded it.
So wait, meaning like he drew the
He
design?
he drew this on my arm.
I've never seen that. So
Yeah.
there was no stencil.
No, there was no stencil. He drew it on with a pen,
Holy cow.
and then so he drew it on with a pen and then traced the pen. But yeah, he freehanded the whole thing.
That's
He was
awesome.
incredible.
It's a great tattoo. I'm going to Vegas for a music festival and an event that I'm working in 2 weeks from right now.
Mhm.
And I will be getting, I think, 2 tattoos in Vegas.
What are
and
you
I'm
gonna
very
get?
excited. So I'm a hidden tattoo girly. I love tattoos, but I like them not to be seen unless I'm
Right.
like in a bathing suit or something. And I'm gonna get like a hand doing like
The rock and roll
the
hand?
rock and roll sign, like black line work
Cool.
on my left rib cage area, probably pretty small, probably like, I don't know, 2 inches
Okay.
tall, 2.5. So I'm gonna get that on Sunday after I go to the When We Were Young festival. But before that, on the Friday night, I am hosting a show with my friend David Michael Frank. Who
Oh, I
is,
know David Michael
yes,
Frank. He
he's
played Tour Stop.
He's awesome. He's an incredible pop punk solo artist, an awesome dad, awesome
He's
husband.
going on a whole tour this fall.
Yes, that he has entirely mapped and orchestrated himself.
Mm-hmm.
He has rented like private venues.
I think he's got rented like 30 venues.
Yeah, it's
crazy.
insane. He's so cool. So shout out to DMF. He's awesome. So at his show, he's gonna have like pop-up tattoos, like
That's
flash
dope.
tattoos. And so because I'm working the show in my favorite genre in Vegas, I'm just gonna get a
So
little.
you're going to his show in Las Vegas.
Yeah, so we put together a When We Were Young Fest concert show party the Friday night
Before the festival.
and so I'm emceeing it. He's
Sweet.
performing. We have some other people there too. So I'll get a tattoo at that party and then go to the festival on Saturday and then get another tattoo on Sunday.
So we should go get matching tattoos, but when me and you do it, what would we get?
Oh, Eryn. It has to be something.
I have an idea.
Something about
We could
queso.
be A&E.
Oh my God, like the network?
Yeah.
Just literally get the logo.
Yeah. We should just get the logo, and people are like, "Are you just big A&E fans?" You're like, "No, that's an inside joke."
What if we got like a triangular tortilla chip, like dripping
Dripping
queso?
cheese? That
That'd
is
be
something that we
cute.
do.
Yeah.
I think a funny story to tell would be the first time we hung out and we went to Rose Pepper.
We probably told this story like 80 episodes ago.
Yeah,
but
sounds about right.
We could tell it again.
So, I forget what the purpose of us hanging out that time was, if it was just to hang out.
Because I had just moved here.
But we went to Rose Pepper over in East Nashville and had margs, and it started storming like so hard.
So
So
bad.
hard. And I had parked really far away. And you had on like nice like clothes and stuff, and I was trying to be the nice like, let me go get my car, I'll run to it and you can jump in mine so you don't have to get
Oh yeah,
wet.
because I'd parked like super far away. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
And I ran to my car, slipped and slid on my butt down a hill in my nice white
In
Converse.
the white white absorbent Converse.
The white canvas Converse slid down and just like caught the brunt of just a big brown puddle of mud with my beautiful white shoe.
Oh.
And like I was just covered in mud and water. And I remember getting in my car just like, are you kidding me? The first time I hang out with this person, and I drove up, and you just look at me like, what happened?
I immediately start. It's me. I start recording, and I'm like,
Yep.
we're hysterically laughing. I felt so bad for your shoes. You were also, I think, you were wearing a Foo Fighters.
I was wearing a Foo
t-shirt.
Fighters t-shirt,
I
and
don't know.
I like wrung
You
it
were- oh, yes,
out.
you
I
wrung
wrung
out
it
your-
out in front of you.
Oh man,
Oh, the old days.
the old days.
The old days. So what's your plan for the new days?
The new days.
Wow, that was a weird way to say what do you want to do now?
Wait, I mean that's like really meta. I like how you phrased that.
The
Actually,
new days.
so profound. Later this month, I will have started a new position at Ryman Hospitality and the Grand Ole Opry, and
Yeah.
I will be a producer for a TV show at the Grand Ole Opry here
That's
in
huge.
Nashville.
That's pretty much like that's the big leagues.
Yes, I'm over the moon. You know, something about what I do being a broadcaster back when I worked in news and even now to keep progressing and climbing in the industry, it's pretty much expected that you move all the time, a lot. Like you're usually not in a place for more than like 1 to 3 years
Mm-hmm.
until you have reached whatever point you want to stop and you don't feel like you need to move anymore. So, but being here and working in music and that wanting to be what I do, it to me it doesn't make sense to actively be trying to leave Music City when there's so many stories here to tell with what I want to do. So, having this opportunity presented to me and kind of coming out of the thin air, coming out of the sky is just incredible. Because I just moved into a new place here too, and I would love to storytell for artists in Nashville for as long as possible, and getting to do it, you know, at the Opry for the Opry is just
So your origin
crazy.
story is Tour Stop, and now you're at the Opry.
I mean,
You're
dude, literally, Eryn, you're so cool. Yes,
you're one of the first people who, well, not the first, but one of the first people who's like from kind of just any perspective, like you did Tour Stop, and now you're at the Opry, and we've had people who started it just playing the rounds, and then we've had them like actually play, and your person is probably like the closest to me, and like as a friend of like who's gotten to do that, and I just look at it, I'm like, my friends are so cool.
Eryn, it's you
Gassing you up still.
No, I know, but like you do so much for the community. You've been doing things that, you know, other people in Nashville claim to be doing or doing on a certain scale, but you've been doing it for, you know, longer and all these things, you know, not to be like Eryn is so much better than everyone, but like it's just so profound what you do for people here. And some of my first and, you know, closest friends I met through this. So
I do want to comment on that because there are a ton of people doing similar things to what I do here. And I don't want to say it's disingenuous. Is that the right word? Disingenuous?
meaning like it's not
Like there are a
genuine?
lot of people who are doing it to, you know, like up their own artist career. I started a show so that I could network and meet people and look like the big dog on campus. And then I'm not trying to do that. Like it used to be called Eryn Shilb's Nashville Tour Stop. And I took my name off of it because I was like, I don't really care. This isn't an ego trip for me. And I think that it's like when I made it selfless, so to speak, it made it better.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't trying to also up the Eryn Shilb brand at the same time as the Tour Stop brand and try to raise them both at the same time. So I just left the Eryn Shilb brand on the shelf and just was like, let's put all of the effort into making this one thing that serves the community better.
Well, also, I mean, for a while you took yourself out of playing.
Mhm.
I'm so happy that you have put yourself back on and played more, but so many people would come to see you sing your funny songs and your incredible songs. And so, I mean, but you had bigger ideas and bigger things you wanted to accomplish. And that was a mental area that you just like were like, okay, I'm going to conserve that so that I can put my energy elsewhere. And that's awesome. And I'm sure that wasn't easy, but yeah.
So taking yourself off of the air to do a different position with television producing, how do you feel about working in a new job position that you're not, you know, like 100% like well versed in yet, like starting a new thing.
Well, it's a really exciting opportunity because I just love learning and I love learning more pieces to the puzzle.
Hmm.
And I kind of have, whether it's been in TV and or radio, I have done most parts of a broadcast, and now it's just going to be putting them all together, which is going to be very challenging, and it's going to take me a minute to learn. But I am not afraid of a challenge. I love to learn, and I'm patient with everybody but myself. So I'm probably going to be really hard on myself at first, but that's what's
That's
gonna
what we do.
make me better. But I'm really excited, and the team over there has already just been so encouraging, and believing in me, and excited for me to take this on, and that's like the best case scenario you can get walking into a new gig. And I don't know, I have such a great support system, and everyone's been really excited for me, and I couldn't do it without all the lovely people that I've come to know in this town specifically. Wow.
So that's a great place to take a commercial break. So we'll come right back with the centennial episode of the Nashville Tour Stop podcast, part 3, featuring Eryn Cooper, right here on the Nashville Tour Stop podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to part 3 of episode 100, featuring former co-host Miss Eryn Cooper.
Hi. How many parts are there?
This is the 3rd of 3.
Oh wow.
So
Finishing strong.
So if you, the listeners, have listened to parts 1 and 2, thank you so far. If you have not, part 1 is featuring me and the fans of Tour Stop. So we actually featured, I think it was about 30 people who sent in voice
Wow.
memos of their favorite Tour Stop memories.
Awesome.
And then I got to send in a few of my own favorites.
Yay.
That was cute. And then
So cute.
part 2 was featuring our very original co-host named Mike Dunbar. So when we started talking about doing the 100th episode, I wanted to have everyone who's been involved with Tour Stop in some capacity come back and talk about life.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to do a lot of fun stuff when you were working for Tour Stop. You were making the Trendsetters videos and you were
Yeah.
co-hosting the podcast, and we just spent a lot of time together.
We did. The
There-
best time ever.
There was something magical about those days because it was like fresh out of COVID, and it really was like anything's possible.
Well, truly, I mean, I think it still is. I mean, when I moved here, and it still is my motto: there are no rules, and no one knows what they're doing. That's
Mhm.
exactly what we didn't have any idea what we were doing, but we click in such a way where we were just such fast friends, and both very driven, and similar mindsets about things, and it's been
And never one
wonderful.
time did I ask you on a date. I immediately was just like, we need to work together.
Yes. Yes.
That's one of the hardest parts about like Nashville that I've talked about on the podcast too, is like dating in the industry is hard because if something bad happens, like God forbid you don't want to date someone, like that spreads. Like gossip travels in this
Yeah.
town like wildfire.
Well, I think also, again, my work is also my play. Like when I'm not working for something with music, I'm still going to shows
Mhm.
and hanging out socially and meeting people that way. So yeah, I mean, I also have always had weird hours, and so you also meet people that have weird hours, and those people are also typically people that work in the industry that you do that have weird hours. So I mean,
It's a vicious cycle.
it's a vicious cycle, and it's inevitable. I mean, I will date who I like. I don't really care what they do or if they're in my quote unquote industry or not. If I like them, and I'm a professional person, and I treat everybody with respect before, during, and after any
Right.
dynamic changes. So yeah.
So you mentioned that you have had crazy hours and everything, but that also dictates sometimes where you get to go hang out. So where are some of the favorite places that you actually enjoy hanging out in town?
Ooh, let's see. Um I love the Electric Jane.
I have not actually gotten to go there yet.
Oh, Eryn, it's so cool. So it's a Prince-inspired venue.
Interesting.
It's a restaurant. It's a bar. It's gorgeous.
That's the place that has the like really bright backlit stage, right?
Yes, it's a gorgeous stage, phenomenal sound system. I have been to several events and shows there, and I have also like hosted some events there, and it's awesome. They have like teal velvet chairs. There's a lot of purple, which is why I love it. But it's Prince inspired, so a lot of the drinks are inspired by his songs. The vibes
Do
are
they have a drink
immaculate.
called the Purple Rain?
I think they do.
That would make sense.
Yes, and it is in fact purple. Food is great. So I love the Electric Jane, whether it is for a show or just to go get dinner with somebody. They do great themed drag brunches as well. I went to a Harry Styles drag brunch there,
That's cool.
which I was thriving. Other than that, I love Condado.
I've never heard of that.
Yes, it's a Mexican place that's over in Capitol View by Germantown.
Okay. I do know what you're talking about.
They have great tacos, but I love their nachos and like their tortilla chips and chorizo queso and great marg pitchers. So that's like
You've always been obsessed with nachos.
Yes, it is my specialty.
That's your comfort food.
I genuinely eat nachos probably once a week. It's true. It is true.
Do you have a favorite place to get nachos?
Condado.
Is that it?
Yeah.
That's the one?
And Taco Mama, not Taco Mamacita, but no hate to Taco Mamacita. Love them. But Taco Mama over near Vandy's campus is a close second. I had them for the first time when I was in college in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and then they put one here. So.
Okay. So also near Vandy campus is a place called Satco, the San Antonio Taco Company.
Ooh.
Have you ever been there?
No, but now
It's
I need to
really
go.
good.
Okay.
It's go there expecting college food,
Okay.
but it's good. Satco. That's the colloquial name, but
I'm ready.
it's really good. So if you like Mexican flavored things, you'd love that.
So Eryn, I was telling you earlier that as a journalist and as the usual interviewer, it's very interesting sitting here and having you ask me questions because I'm impulsively like, okay, now I need to ask you something. I need to ask you something.
Yeah,
So-
we've been having this weird dynamic of like, do it now. Who asks the next one?
So I need to scratch that itch and I need to ask you some tour stop questions.
Sure. Interview me right back.
Oh, I'm ready. Okay. So not to be like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Because I hate that question. But like,
But will you ask that question and use that voice?
Eryn, where? But I'm gonna make the window like smaller. So, Eryn, where would you like to see Nashville Tour Stop in a year? Like
Something
what
that I want to
is-
work on is I want to figure out how to start doing like I don't want to just be like I want to do festivals, but I would like to start doing little like afternoon long like daytime things
Yeah.
like mini festivals where there's like little vendors and there's some music. But I would like to eventually grow and to be able to have like the Nashville Tour Stop be a festival, a music festival.
Nashville Fest Stop.
I think that would be really cool. It would be a ton of work and cost a ton of money, but I don't know anything about festival running, so I would like to learn how to start organizing small things like inside places like the Oak Room at the Greenbrier Distillery is a new event space they have there that's like really flexible with how they set things up.
Right.
So I think it'd be fun to have little like artisan vendors come in and display their stuff and have it kind of be like a farmer's market, so to speak, but with less vegetables. Less vegetables.
That, yes. One thing that, unless you are literally doing some sort of like health living festival, you don't need vegetables.
Hard
at a music
pass.
Festival.
Hard pass.
I want my loaded fries. I want my pizza slices. I want my chicken tenders. Amen.
I
That'd
want
be
all of
awesome.
those things.
I would love to do a Nashville Fest stop. That'd be awesome.
I think that'd be a lot of fun. That's always been in the back of my mind. The original like iteration of Tour Stop was to take songwriters on the road and like literally be the Nashville Tour Stop in your city, and we bring songwriter rounds there. So touring is something that I had started doing right before COVID. We had 2 shows. We did one in New York City and then one in my hometown in Columbia, Missouri. And those shows were really well received. And after COVID, everything reset, and I kind of
Sure.
had to reassess what I wanted to do because I was kind of just desperate to make money.
Yeah.
But that's another thing that I would like to get into is, and maybe I could put those hands together and make it be like a traveling show
Mm-hmm.
or a traveling festival.
Mm-hmm.
And we could take the Nashville flavored foods and drinks and bring the Nashville music to your place because like obviously like millions of people come to Nashville for tourism. Why not take Nashville to them for a day?
I love that.
I think that'd be cool.
That'd be really cool. I think those are 2 phenomenal and attainable things to accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
So along those same lines, if somebody were to walk in the store right now and offer Tour Stop an opportunity, like, we'll do this for you right now, what would that dream opportunity that someone
You know, I
would
think
do?
if I had like the opportunity to do something like that, it probably would be doing some kind of street fair because I have always loved, I don't love going to like Bonnaroo,
Mhm.
places that are 250,000 people. And I personally just get overwhelmed by the size of events like that. But like the Tomato Arts Festival and the Nashville Food
Yeah.
and Wine Festivals, like things like that, the little local sized things, they're a lot more manageable for me. And I enjoy going to those.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that would be really cool to have stage set up outside. There's food and drink and people just hanging out and having a good time rather than being like, this is a music festival and here's the Foo Fighters. Even though if I could get the Foo Fighters,
Okay,
that'd be
no.
pretty sweet.
No, Nashville Fest Stop, first headliner,
Foo Fighters.
Hell yeah.
The craziest thing was when I was in high school, or I think it might have been like my senior year or my freshman year of college.
I know what this is.
I DM'd the Foo Fighters Facebook page and I said, "Hey, my friend dared me to DM you on
What a
Instagram
high school thing
and
to
said
do.
and said there's no way they'll respond." And then like not even like 30 seconds later, I got a DM back from the Foo Fighters that just said, "Do you live in Los Angeles?"
I bet you wish you did that day.
I still now probably 15 years later think about like, what if I had lived in Los Angeles?
What would they? What idea did they
If
have?
I had said yes,
Dave Grohl was gonna meet you.
would they
take
just
a
be like, "You want to
video
go eat tacos?" Like,
and like take a picture for your friend to prove? Not only did they DM you back, they took
probably
you to tacos.
be like, "Your friend, this proves your friend wrong." And I think that would be really cool. But for a long time, the Foo Fighters had in their bios for their social medias that said, "Rock and roll band, period, will play any show for $1 million." And
I
like,
bet they still would.
it's a ton of money. I mean, they're like one
Who
of the
wouldn't?
biggest rock bands in the world.
Of all time.
Part of like, yeah, at this point, definitely all time. But in my brain, like when they play, they're making like millions of dollars. But you know, it really might just be like, no, it costs $1 million to put on a Foo Fighters show.
Totally. I got rejected by the Foo Fighters actually for Bonnaroo.
Really?
We're talking about it. So I sent out emails to a ton of the acts playing Bonnaroo when I got press passes for this last summer, just to see who wanted to meet me in the press tent and do an interview. And I sent out a bunch of them. I sent out this email to the Foo Fighters press team. I explained who I was. I said I grew up in Dave Grohl's hometown, that I, have been a lifelong fan. I sent a picture of me at their 20th anniversary show on the 4th of July when Dave was in the throne.
And the
because
throne
he
with his
broke his
broken
leg.
leg. Yeah.
And I was just like, if they have any time, would love to catch up. Like total long shot, like absolute long shot. I knew that no one's gonna come. Come talk to this nobody. Like no one's gonna talk to me from the Foo Fighters. But you shoot your shot.
I mean, because you really might send them a DM and they'll respond.
Well, literally, yes, you are the testament. And the first response I got from anyone was from the Foo Fighters, and they said the Foo Fighters will not be doing any interviews at Bonnaroo, but thank you for your interest. And I was like, at least they responded.
At least I know
quickly.
this email is active.
And not many people can say they got rejected by the Foo Fighters.
Not everyone can say they've
So-
been rejected by the Foo. Not many people can say they've been contacted
Yes.
by the Foo Fighters.
So I
Look at us go.
I'm so proud getting
This
rejected.
is this our like, 7 degrees of separation
Yes.
from Dave Grohl, except now it's just one.
Yes. Exactly.
So if you
Anyway.
could have any of those big extravagant things for yourself, like in the industry, what would you want to have happen?
Oh my gosh. Well, like I said, I mean, I would love to stay based in Nashville in some capacity for as long as possible because
Mhm.
I think this is just such a magical city. I think it is a true entertainment town with the glitz and the glamour and the magic, but not to the size and saturation and fakeness that
Right.
so many people say that, other entertainment towns like New York and LA possess. I've never been to LA, so I
Mhm.
can't say for myself. That's just what people from there have told me.
Right.
However, it's always been a dream for me to be a correspondent or host some sort of red carpet for a major award show.
Let's call it now. Aaron and Aaron host the red carpet for the Grammys.
I would love that.
Let's do it.
I would love to start with the VMAs
That'd be
because
cool too.
I love the VMAs. I think the style is so fun. I think it's just a fun night. Like so many iconic pop culture moments happen at the VMAs. It's during the summer, So I would love that would be like my first step up from
That'd
if
be
I were to
cool.
do anything outside of Nashville, right? It would be
You want to
love go.
be what was the original I think he still is the MC of American Idol.
Ryan Seacrest?
Yeah.
Oh,
You
heck
want to be
yeah.
Ryan Seacrest
He and Steve Irwin are my TV inspirations.
because it's on air with Ryan, right?
Yes, I've always said Ryan Seacrest. If you're listening to the Nashville Tour Stop podcast right now, my username that I've had since like 2009, 10, 11, whatever, it's literally like one letter different than Ryan Seacrest's. And if he ever comes after me or sues me, I will know I've made it because he feels threatened
I'll sell
by
this
my
to you
brand.
for a photo and a handshake.
I will never, I could never ever compare to the great Ryan Seacrest. He is such an incredible broadcaster.
Yeah,
But,
eventually someone will have to fill his shoes.
oh my gosh.
Someone's got to be
No,
the
Ryan needs to be doing what he does forever because he's so good at it and he's a treasure. Ryan Seacrest.
and
is
he's one of
best.
the most beautiful people that has ever lived.
He's awesome. He's such a hard worker too. I've never met him personally, but he has done everything.
I mean,
under the
he's like a
sun.
professional, like he's just a professional host.
Yeah.
Like
That's what I want to do.
I mean, he's not a songwriter, he's not an actor.
He started in radio.
Really?
He's from Atlanta, like the Georgia. I don't know if it's Atlanta, but he's from Georgia.
So this could be your trajectory. You never know.
Oh God. We're thinking positive. Sure, why not? Maybe.
Why not?
Oh gosh.
So if you ever do decide you need a co-host for American Idol,
you will be my Ryan Dunkelman, but you will not decide, this isn't going anywhere and leave after the first season, and then it becomes the biggest reality show of all time. So
yeah, I'll hold on to you.
you'll
I'll hold on to you and just be like, take me wherever you're going.
And I'm gonna do the same with you, my pal.
Or if I do Nashville Tour Stop, the festival with Foo Fighters, then you can MC with me.
Fantastic.
Handshake.
Give me that backstage
Donk,
interview.
donk.
Beautiful. Yes, it's gonna happen.
Thank you for joining us, Miss Cooper.
Thank you, Eryn. It was very funny. I feel like you started that very quietly, and it was almost at ASMR level. But
We could just go. We could just go dance. Come to the Nashville Tour Stop.
I love ASMR.
Well,
But anyway,
I can't hear ASMR.
that's true. You will not. They have visual ASMR though.
There's visual.
Yes. Okay. I'm really into it, so like that's why I know. But like, people do it on YouTube because
Mhm.
they do visual aspects of it. Like you'll watch somebody give like a massage, or you'll watch
Gotcha.
somebody do hair, and like that.
I guess
Watching that can be
I guess
soothing,
kind of. I get that. Like if I think about it, like when I have the shower head hitting my head and everything, I'll close my eyes and it feels like television static.
Yeah.
That sensory thing. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, but that's more the feeling you. So yeah, that's the feeling you get from it. But that's
Gotcha.
because you felt it,
Mhm.
right? So I guess in like a visual way, either like you can envision like, oh, I know what that feels like. That's very
Mhm.
calming. Or just watching somebody else be relaxed can also like,
Gotcha.
relax you. You know? So,
That's
anyway.
interesting. Well,
Yeah. Anyway.
interesting cap on the 100th episode with the Nashville ASMR podcast. But Eryn, we know there's many wonderful things to come for your future. Will you give folks your plugs where they can follow you online?
Absolutely. You can find me on all social media platforms at On Air with Eryn, and that's Eryn with a Y, Eryn.
You can find us on A&E all the time.
Oh gosh, we do need imagine us getting a TV show on A&E. That would be awesome.
That would be great. A&E.
It would be a ghost hunting show at haunted Mexican restaurant.
You heard it here first, folks. A&E's newest hot hit show is with A&E investigating spooky Mexican restaurants.
And on that note,
We'll be like, so do you think that rainbow-colored skeleton was a real person? Do you think that the sombrero was really part of his identity? Find out next week, 8/7 Central, right here on Ghost Hunting with Eryn and Eryn.
I love it.
Well, thank you for coming on to the pod.
Thank you
for
having
helping
me.
get it back on its 2 feet many
Yay.
episodes ago. Y'all, thank you so much for listening to the 100th episode of the Nashville Tour Stop podcast. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
It has been so wonderful getting to do this. Can't wait for the next 100 episodes. We'll have to have you come back, and we'll have to split a picture of margaritas and then see what happens.
I think that's what we have to do. We got to do a Marg episode.
I think
I'm
it would be
ready.
great.
I'm ready. Thank you, Eryn.
Well, y'all can follow us at Nashville Tour Stop on your social media platforms. You can find us on the web at NashvilleTourStop.com. We have live shows every week, everywhere, everything, all at once. Come to our Wednesday night residency at the Nelson's Greenbrier Distillery. I'm calling it the final stop. I love it there.
Oh,
It's such a wonderful venue. We're excited to keep working there. Please do, though, give us a 5-star review. Leave whatever it is that you want to say in that little episode description. If you hated it, tell us. I want to know that you hated it. I want to know I have haters. That'd be cool. But
Means you're doing
remember to
something right.
subscribe, like, share with your friends, whatever it is, social media words. That was a wonderful thing to say.
Social media
Social media
words.
words. But y'all, please remember to tune in next week for episode 101 right here on the Nashville Tour Stop podcast.